everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a lovely day. Thanks so much for joining me for another 5 Easy Step card. Today we're using some Hero Arts items and they are so pretty. We are using the Daisy cover plate. So sweet. We're also going to be using a background stamp. It's called the Birdsong script. It's a really pretty background script stamp set. And then I'm also going to bring in a Stamp Cut Set called What's Cooking. So we're going to make a fun, playful card. Since this month we've been doing a lot of baking, I thought we'll do a little cooking today. We're going to jump in again. And these are part of 2 different releases over at Hero Arts that are new this month. So let's jump in and get started with step number 1 and create our focal point, which will be a little mouse holding a piece of cheese. He's really cute. There's a whole bunch of little baking items that he could be holding along with some coffee mugs. Look how cute the pie is. The casserole dish is just cute, but I think he's going to hold some cheese today. I'm going to bring in my stamping positioner. We'll stamp him. I'm also going to stamp the apron and the piece of cheese. The nice thing about the cut set is you see the little mouse, his hands. In the cut set, there is a die that will cut out the arms so they pop up. You can add it if you want or you don't, but I think that's just adorable. Okay, so cheese, while we're at it, just so I don't have to do it later on, we're going to stamp our greeting that says, "You're my favorite." I'm going to put it over here. We're going to do some quick and easy coloring with Copic markers. So we'll put this in the corner. I'm going to bring in Memento ink. And we'll just go over this. I'm going to stamp the mouse a couple times here. Lovely. Now let's go ahead and let me show you the markers that I'm going to be using. Okay, well look, I think it may be easier if I go over the markers and what sections. For the apron, I'm going to use my oranges. We're going to make an orange apron. So I have YRO2 and YRO4. That's for the apron. For the cheese, we have some yellows. I have Y08, YR23, that's for the cheese. And then for my shirt on the mouse, the shirt here, I'm going to use pinks. I have RV52 and RV55. And then for my mouse, I have some grays. I have C1, C2. We're going to rosy up cheeks with RV000, and then I have my blender pen, which is a 0 that I can fade out. Okay? And I don't even think I'm going to use C2. I'm just going to use C1 for today. And that is for my little mouse. So I'm going to zoom in. We'll play a little bit of music while I color. And when I'm done coloring, I'll get you back. I do want to mention that there are timestamps on this video. So if you want to skip coloring, just go to the next timestamp and we'll be all finished. Okay? Coloring is all done. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the coordinating dies and we're going to cut out this cute little image. To have his arms cut out, which is this piece here, you need to cut first and then come back, and then this will go here, and then it'll cut out some arms I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. So we got an apron, and we got some cheese, and then we got this cute little mouse. Now we're going to make his arms pop open. So all you do is line it up here and run it through the die cut machine one more time. And then you can tuck things in his arms. And there you go. You can see his arms pop open. I mean, you just can't, and you can put anything in his arms. If you want to put a cupcake in there, you can. So much fun. I am going to add a little apron to this guy, so I put some glue behind here. And all I'm going to do is go underneath his arms up to his neck here, and we'll add the apron. And then for the cheese, I'm going to bring in a foam square. And we're going to pop up some cheese and put it in his hands. So this is my focal image. Let's move on to step 2 and create our home panel. Now that's where our Birdsong script 6x6 stamp comes in. I love the stamp set. It is fabulous. I love the font on here, and it can be used for so many different things. In fact, Hero Arts has, let me show you. This was I think it's called Jingle Bells. It's a background stamp, but I love the font on this, and every time I want a font or print in my background, I reach for this, but then I have to put it back because it's Christmas. So when they came out with this, I was like, yes, I so like it. The print on it is similar, but this is a lot larger than this, maybe double the height, but they're both fabulous. Okay, but I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take a piece of white cardstock, and we're just going to print on white cardstock. 2.5 by 3 3/4. So this is 2.5 inches wide by 3 3/4 inches tall. And I'm going to use my memento since I have it on my desk. And we're just going to add some print to this. Okay, we'll ink this up really good. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my craft desk. I'm going to line it up. And I'm just going to stamp it directly on my craft desk because I don't want it to shift. And it works out wonderful. And that's all I'm doing for my background. I'm going to clean off my work surface. Now we're going to work on step number 3, which is our sentiment. And I already stamped it, so all I have to do is use my paper trimmer. And I'm going to just trim a thin strip here. This is always tricky for me. Okay. And that's my greeting. Let's go ahead and add our greeting and our mouse to our background. Lovely. Let's move along to step number 4 and create our background. For my background, we are going to do something really fun. Okay, first I'm going to take my daisy cover plate, which is so pretty. This is such a pretty cover plate. I have a piece of cardstock. Now this is larger than an A2 panel. I do that with the cover plate dies, especially when there's cut lines, because this way it's no fail, and I know it's not going to overhang. You know, if it, because, well, I do that because my card base, my A2 panels are not the straightest, so this is going to ensure me to have a perfect A2 panel. So this is what it looks like. I punched out all the pieces. I had leftovers. In fact, I made a couple of flowers with them, and I went ahead and made another card that I'll show you at the end that I used similar items that we're using for this card with. So there's almost a bonus card. I'll walk you through how I made that. But there is my cover plate. Really pretty. I'm going to take another piece of cardstock, and we're going to add some bright colors. We use some bright colors with our mouse. We use pink, yellow, and oranges. So I'm going to use those same colors in my Pawsitively saturated inks. Okay, we have peony, shell, and butter. And I'm going to start with peony. And I'm going to add ink to the very bottom. And there we go. That's a nice colorful background. It's going to coordinate with this really well. I'm going to layer my daisies just using some glue right over this panel. And then I'm going to add this panel to my card base. Once we have this adhered to the front of our card base, I'm going to take my corner rounder and I'm going to round the corners of my my home panel. Okay. Wonderful. And then I did pop it up with foam tape. So now we just remove the release paper, and this is going to go in the center of our background. Now we're going to move on to step number 5, which means it's time to embellish. I'm bringing in some Spellbinders Opalescent Aura. They call them discs, but it's like confetti. And I'm just going to add a few in the background. Add a little sparkle here and here, and then that will finish off that card. Let me bring in the other card that I made using some similar items. Okay, I use the same daisy background, and I put it over fog cardstock on my card base. And then I created a background with the Birdsong script that I stamped over ink blended. I did splotchy ink blending with the same 3 colors of inks here on the background panel, and then I added 2 strips of cardstock, a light pink and a yellow on this side. All those little extra pieces from our daisy cover plate, I created 3 little flowers with them. Okay, and then the rest are on my floor. And then for my the background of my hello there, I used the Woodgrain background stamp, and I stamped it on vellum. You can see here. And then I heat embossed it with white embossing powder. And then I die cut out my hello there a few times and stacked them. The hello there is actually from the Hello There Stamp and Cut Set. It's a really nice size. And then that's all there is to that card. And for bells and whistles, all I did was add a little bit of my diamond stickles. I added it to these flower centers that I also ink blended with these 3 inks, the centers. And then I added a little sparkle in the very middle. I also added the same stickles in the center of these flowers that you could see over here. And that's all there is to that card. So a couple of fun ideas with some brand new items over at Hero Arts. The Daisy cover plate die is so sweet, and also the Birdsong script background die is wonderful. They're both new. If you want to check them out, everything's down below. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for joining me, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.